Hey guys, and welcome back to Liftoff, your first place where you find everything space, Elon Musk, Tesla, and SpaceX. As Russia's war in Ukraine continues, the world has watched from the comfort of their Twitter feeds. This includes eccentric inventor and billionaire Elon Musk. The Tesla creator has a reputation for tweeting and stirring up controversy for both Tesla and over his political viewpoints. But now, Musk is using his power and wealth for good. The impact of the Russian invasion of Ukraine is huge. It's caused hundreds of deaths and displaced millions of people. It's quite unfortunate and very tragic. Negotiators from Russia and Ukraine met again on Monday for another round of talks aimed at finding a way out of the war, even as Russian forces broadened their devastating offense. And the Kremlin insisted that it would not pull back until all plans for the invasion are fulfilled. When Russia first invaded Ukraine, many feared the internet would be cut off to the country. According to Vox, many speculated this would be either through cyber attacks or the destruction of internet infrastructure, or both. Not only would this disrupt communication, but this would also cut Ukraine off from the world, stopping news of what war crimes Russia was committed from being shared in real time as they are now. To help stop this from becoming an issue, Ukraine's Vice Prime Minister, Mikhailo Fedorov, took to Twitter and asked Elon Musk for help. The tweet called Musk out for being in a position to help the Ukrainian people, but hadn't yet at the time. While you try to colonize Mars, Fedorov wrote, Russia tries to occupy Ukraine. While your rockets successfully land from space, Russia rockets attack Ukrainian civil people. The tweet went on to request that Musk provide Ukraine with Starlink stations as well as address sane Russians to stand. Within hours, Musk responded to let Fedorov know Starlink service is now in Ukraine, more terminals en route. The Starlink terminals that SpaceX founder Elon Musk sent to Ukraine have reportedly given them an advantage in winning the drone war against the invading Russian military. Aero Razvedka, aerial reconnaissance, is being used to attack Russian drones and target Vladimir Putin's army of tanks and track down their positions in the conflict, which has been ongoing since February 24th. The Daily Mail reported, drones used in the field are able to use the newly available Starlink to keep connected and provide intelligence as internet and power outages plague Ukraine. With the technology, the drones can be directed to drop anti-tank munitions to help ward off the Russian attack. Musk said earlier this month that SpaceX's Starlink satellite broadband service was now available in Ukraine with more terminals en route to the country, a remark that came in response to a request on Twitter from Mikhailo Fedorov, the Vice Prime Minister of Ukraine. Starlink provides high-speed, low-latency broadband internet across the globe. With each coverage area, orders are fulfilled on a first-come, first-served basis, the company says. Using advanced satellites in low orbit, Starlink enables video calls, online gaming, streaming, and other high data rate activities that historically have not been possible with satellite internet. Starlink is ideally suited for areas where connectivity has been unreliable or completely unavailable, the company added. People across the globe are using Starlink to gain access to education, health services, and even communication support during natural disasters. Musk later issued a warning that those using SpaceX's Starlink terminals in Ukraine were at a high risk of being targeted by the Russians because those are some of the only remaining systems on the ground that work. Important warning: Starlink is the only non-Russian communication system still working in some parts of Ukraine, so the probability of being targeted is high, Musk tweeted. Please use with caution. When later asked about how users should use the system with caution, Musk responded, turn on Starlink only when needed and place the antenna as far away from people as possible. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky later praised Musk in a tweet, writing, talk to Elon Musk. I'm grateful to him for supporting Ukraine with words and deeds. Next week, we'll receive another batch of Starlink systems for destroyed cities. Discuss possible space projects, but I'll talk about this after the war. If I die under mysterious circumstances, it's been nice knowing you. Elon Musk has enemies in high places, and they're not afraid to let him know it. Russian space chief Dmitry Rogozin has apparently threatened Elon Musk, But the SpaceX founder and CEO doesn't seem too bothered. On Sunday, that was May 8th, Musk posted on Twitter a note that he said Rogozin, the head of Russia's Federal Space Agency, Roscosmos, had sent out to Russian media. The note claimed that the equipment for SpaceX's Starlink satellite internet system had been delivered to Ukrainian Marines and militants of the Nazi Azov Battalion by U.S. military. Elon Musk, thus, is involved in supplying the fascist forces in Ukraine with military communication equipment, Rogozin wrote, according to an English translation that Musk posted. He also tweeted out a Russian version, and for this, Elon, you'll be held accountable like an adult, no matter how much you'll play the fool. This sounds very much like a threat, doesn't it? I mean, yeah. As Musk acknowledged in a follow-up tweet on Sunday, if I die under mysterious circumstances, it's been nice knowing ya, he wrote. Musk's mom, May, didn't appreciate the glib response, tweeting, "That's not funny," along with 2 angry face emojis. The billionaire entrepreneur responded, "Sorry, I'll do my best to stay alive." It was Mother's Day after all, so I mean, come on, Elon, don't do that to mom. It doesn't seem like Musk is terribly concerned about his safety, which isn't surprising given that Rogozin is prone to bluster and hyperbole. So, for example, the Roscosmos chief has repeatedly suggested that Russia may leave the International Space Station, also known as ISS program, if sanctions imposed in the wake of the invasion aren't lifted, but it continues to be more or less business as usual on the orbiting lab. And Musk and Rogozin have traded barbs before. In 2014, for example, Rogozin remarked that the United States should use a trampoline to get its astronauts to the ISS, a reference to the fact that the nation was, at the time, completely dependent on Russian Soyuz spacecraft for crewed orbital missions. You know, that flipped, obviously. Rogozin, who was Russia's deputy minister at the time, was mad about sanctions imposed shortly after the nation invaded and annexed Crimea, which had been Ukrainian territory. In May 2020, SpaceX ended that reliance when it launched 2 NASA astronauts to the ISS on its landmark Demo 2 mission. Just after that liftoff, Musk delivered a repost to Rogozin 6 years in the making. The trampoline is working. Haha! Anyways, SpaceX, Musk, and the United States Agency for International Development have been open about sending Starlink terminals to Ukraine to help the country maintain some of its communications infrastructures during the ongoing invasion by Russia. Ukrainian officials asked for such equipment in late February, shortly after the invasion began. The feud between Musk and Rogozin has been simmering for years now, and reignited when Russia invaded Ukraine after the SpaceX Tsar decided to weigh in and threaten Russian President Vladimir Putin. Thank you for watching until the end. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to keep updated with space, Elon Musk, and SpaceX updates. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care.